Warning! The following podcast contains adult language and material unsuitable for younger listeners.
As well as funny humor and fart jokes unsuitable for older ones.
You have been warned. Welcome to Fragged, the Shadowrun audio adventure podcast. Tonight's players are Ganesh D'Souza, Alex Fudgems, my cousin Vino, and Candace.
This election has everybody going full retard.
Okay, so is Fudgems coming?
I believe so.
We'll wait till he gets here, but basically the changes when I'm GMing, there's two main ones.
Just wait until he gets here.
Yeah.
Not that big a deal.
It's just, I wanted to say because I'm really excited about these two changes. They make things a lot easier. The first one is,
Oh, jeez.
Yeah?
Sorry, nothing. It's Google.
Oh.
That's pissing me off.
What's up?
I emailed myself all of the stuff, and for whatever reason, I signed out of the account on this computer that I emailed everything to, which is problematic because I don't remember the password because it...
LastPass can be decent, although
What do you
it's
mean
probably
LastPass?
only a matter of time before they get hacked. Not just LastPass. There's a bunch of sites that do it, but you can subscribe or for free sign up with sites. Basically, it's like an online text file that stores all your passwords. Obviously, they're encrypted and so on, but...
I mean, I would rather not trust that. The problem is I have the password written down. The problem is it's at the organization.
It creates one point of failure instead of n points of failure, but theoretically they're more careful with their data than, say, Home Depot is going to be.
Oh.
So,
Okay, never mind.
Oh, so anyways, the two changes. Plot points, which are kind of like hero points in Mutants and Masterminds. They're kind of... You regain them the same way you regain Edge, but instead of Edge, which just lets you reroll dice, here plot points you can use to edit the scene around you in minor ways. You can't just say, I have a rocket launcher now. But you can say, you can probably say there's a can of gasoline over there that someone left. If it's believable that there would be a can of gasoline over there that someone left.
Okay.
And that's probably fair. Also, typically you can use it to get maybe 1 or 2 dice or avoid something stupid that you did earlier because...
I'll probably need that a lot.
Yes, it can be very useful. The thing is, NPCs have it as well, but NPCs can only use 1 per action, whereas PCs can use as many as they want if things just keep going badly. Not action per encounter. Whereas PCs have a pool of them. Then the other change, instead of me controlling all the NPCs, I'll start with me and go around as NPCs show up. Aside from like named characters that are actually important, everyone controls NPCs. And then whenever we get into a situation where one person goes solo, because that's happened a lot, all of their NPCs get distributed to everyone else. But it gives people stuff to do when there's like solo adventures. If there's hacking, people control matrix entities instead of just sitting there while the hacker is on his own. If there's astral combat, people control spirits instead of just sitting there. And then on top of that, it also like takes a lot of work off of my end because all I have to do is say how many dice to roll, and you decide what action to do and so on. And like I can explain what actions are available and so on, but those two I think will make GMing a lot easier and also make the game a lot more fun. Right?
This is driving me nuts. Okay, here we go.
The first one, it could really, like, it could go either way, but not by a significant margin.
Yeah. Well,
The
I could
second
always
one-
overrule
Yeah.
any use of a plot point, so it's not like it's going to go too overboard. It's just,
The thing is that it makes sense in, like, an Epic Heroes campaign, where it's like, oh no, I totally survived being thrown through that wall. But
the thing is, it has to be within reason. It's usually
yeah,
small
and
stuff.
The thing
It's
is
not like
that Shadowrun, on the other hand, isn't like, even Edge is supposed to be an extreme cases thing. It's not supposed to be a regular part of the campaign that you can override the situation.
this isn't so much overriding the situation as in an RPG, right? The world, you're not like in a video game where you can see everything you can interact with. This helps flesh out the world quite a bit. It allows for stuff like, this is a bad example, but jumping on top of a table to get high ground. That won't really help too much, but it does let you have a table be in the room that you can knock over to give you some cover. And typically it'll give you like 1 or 2 dice extra on a test. And it's a bad example not because it doesn't make sense in the setting, because you shouldn't be using that every round. It has to be something unique and something that actually fits with wherever you are. If you're in like a restaurant, then knocking over a table makes sense. You can't be in the sewers and find a table. Also, so are you okay with this session if we figure out what to do about your old character?
Sure, I thought we were just gonna kill her, but
Well, we don't have to kill her. There's multiple things you can do.
oh,
But killing is one option.
after the mess with the Sudanese Liberation Army bit, I would have figured that was
The
good.
neat part is you can still play her while we figure out what to do about her. Because that could be really interesting.
Oh, brother.
Or if you have a new character, then she can just be an NPC that you control.
I have the... Well, what I did was I bind the rest of the Shadowrun 4th pack tomorrow when my check clears. So I'll actually have a properly created character now that I've read the rules
Yeah.
properly. So that will be completed this weekend. What was the other thing? But yeah, I was just going to use a copy of her for tonight's game and just say it was her identical twin sister.
Right, that'll work as well. But the thing is, you can also control her as well during combat.
Okay.
Because presumably she's not just going to sit there and let herself be shot. But so, what do you think of the second thing?
well, that's going to drastically be conditional on so many other things, whether or not it works. So we'll just have to try it and see.
It's mostly
Because it
just...
can really easily be really terrible, but it might work. The thing is that
The worst case is someone doing it deliberately badly. I don't think anyone's going to do that. Someone doing something suboptimally, that still works out. I mean, it's not like everyone's going to focus fire one character. And no, you can't just have the grunt Lone Star officer you just took over shoot himself in the head because you're controlling him. You have to believably be controlling your character, but...
Alright, what I miss?
Nothing much. I'm GMing today, and I have 2 slight modifications to the rules.
You run Hero Lab on Linux, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And what would those modifications be?
Did you play Mutants and Masterminds?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
but he's not
You remember
gonna
hero
work
points?
one of those.
Aren't they basically like Edge?
Kind of, except
They were like
they let you...
super powered edge.
This is less strong, but basically, you can edit the scene in a small way. Like, you can say there's a gas can over there if you're in a garage, or you can say there's a table there and knock it over. That sort of thing.
So you're gonna let us spin our Edge like that, I'm assuming?
No, you get 3 points and they're recovered the same way as Edge, but it's not a stat. You just get them for doing stunts and dangerous things.
Look, I'm only gonna worry about this stuff if you're GMing because that's so OP.
It's not... I get to veto anything, and it's usually only going to give you 1 or 2 dice.
Well,
Not any more than that.
that's fine.
And it's not going to let you do something you can't normally do. It'll be more like...
Look.
I took some stims this morning,
Oh,
and then you pay for them later, but
Oh.
you can say something like that.
why do I have a feeling that means you're gonna have to make this encounter really, really hard?
Not really.
So what's the other change, or is that
The
it?
other change is, instead of me controlling all the NPCs, I'll hand out the mooks to you guys. You just roll them.
You lazy dick!
It makes things so much easier.
What do you mean the movies?
Can you open it?
Papa John.
Probably pizza.
That's early if you were just ordering it.
No, Papa John's tends to be pretty quick.
Oh.
Good. You? Yep.
This time I ordered food to be delivered. Took nearly an hour.
If you want to consider this a party, it's a pretty sad party.
Yeah.
Okay, for NPCs then, what is the profession rating? Just if it's not covered in enough skill, you just roll 2 die for
Yeah.
whatever? Okay.
It's usually just like...
I thought it was the
base
associated skill -1.
No,
The
all
associated-
well, for
NPCs
us.
have a stat called profession rating.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that was for us, but for them, it's like order.
Wait, no, PCs don't have a profession rating.
God,
Well, no,
stuff
but
for
if you
NPC.
don't
I
have
haven't
skill,
devoted
then
enough
it's
time
just
rolling stuff for
roll.
me.
Yeah, you
Stat
roll
minus
stat
one,
minus
but-
1. For NPCs, they have profession rating, which
Okay.
is you just roll it for stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it's... I don't want to have to roll all the dice. It's much easier
Made
this way.
me roll all the dice.
Well,
Yeah.
you could have suggested this rule change.
So we're rolling both our action and the opposing action?
No, other people roll the opposing action.
Okay.
It speeds things up a lot, I've heard.
I've got my custom Shadowrun die for this, so.
There's something about can't
Also,
think
how many people can do magic stuff?
of me.
Ginger?
I don't remember what
I'm
you-
not going to be here this time, but I'm pretty sure you guys...
I
Because
believe he does, yeah.
Don't worry, George
Evo-
has this covered.
Evo has free spirits.
I don't think I have any spirits.
They're
I just have.
things that they control sometimes. And I don't want to wreck the entire party because I introduced 1 free spirit and it just sits there being immune to everything you throw at it. But there is probably going to be a mage and also possibly a free spirit. Free spirits are immune to mundane weapons. So, yeah, if no one has a way to deal with them, then you're all kind of screwed and I should remove it, but otherwise...
Well, the problem is,
Don't worry. I'll just fetch George, and then the free spirit gets a -8 to all of its dice pools.
That still won't kill it because it's flat out immune to everything mundane.
Yeah,
I mean, someone
-8 to
who
all of
has
its dice
mana
pools, I
balls
can't
can deal
imagine
with
it
it.
being
My
particularly
problem
dangerous.
is I still haven't figured out how to properly deal with the stun stuff, so I haven't boosted my magic skill yet.
Okay, but still, you can cast Death Touch
Yeah.
or something, right?
What? I have mana ball, mana.
You have a
bolt.
damaging spell.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I guess you could just, like, bury it or something, but then it just goes to the astral plane and comes back out and then manifests again. So,
Listen, I can see you making other people roll the mooks, but the hero point thing, and then not having it basically be edge.
it's not Edge, because Edge is just rerolls. This is more like hero points.
Okay, so Edge is I got lucky. This is the GM creates minor scene alterations that are convenient for your character.
Yep.
I
Because
don't have a feeling that this means that you didn't plan it out well and you're hoping that we're going to use the hero points to try to think of a way to fix it.
no, it's not that so much as it just makes things more interesting, because otherwise you're just going to shoot something every round. This way you can, like, say,
Actually,
I'm
there's
swinging
a really
off the
easy way
chandeliers
to explain
and,
this.
you know,
You know,
there's
my-
a really easy way to explain this, okay? You've seen some stuff from DC, you've seen some stuff from Marvel. You're aware of what Marvel Peak Human is?
Mhm.
That's having an edge pool to play around with. You're aware of what DC Peak Human is? That's having a hero point pool to play around with. That's basically what the difference is.
no,
One of them is
He's basically calling it plot armor.
he is.
He's calling hero
The thing
points plot
is,
armor because when you're talking about peak humans, you are only talking
you're
about
never going to
Batman.
get more than 2 dice, which is strictly worse than freaking 6 Edge all over the place. And you don't get to re-roll anything.
Oh, speaking
you just
of
might get an extra
rolling
2
all the-
dice
all
if you're
the
in
edge
trouble.
Stuff. Kendig, you know I was going to let you have your character stay alive, right?
Well,
I
we're
was-
killing his character this time.
Oh, I mean, we
Well-
didn't. I told you we
Well,
didn't.
we don't have to kill his
my
character.
character was created
That's
with
what I
no
thought we
knowledge
were
of the
doing.
rules, just plugging random information
All right, so
into
you're
Hero
okay with
Lab.
them being murdered.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't ever think it was going to be a permanent character.
Today's
Okay,
mission is
I'm
actually
actually-
killing the character. So,
Yeah.
Oh, because that was. Yeah, because that was just like.
also
oh,
what
Like,
does-
we don't
what
have
does
to do
Evo
that,
have
but-
to do with killing that character?
you worked for Evo. You
Well,
said
no,
you
I
worked
claimed
for
I
Evo.
worked for
yes.
Evo.
He didn't.
Remember
though. He
with
was-
the cops?
He was just.
He
lying
didn't.
about everything.
I know. But Lone Star is super corrupt, and some members of Lone Star are fucking idiots, and it's hilarious.
You know, we were
Because-
going over this. Technically, I should have kept them as knight errant.
They are actually Knight Errant is the current
Well,
contract
Knight
holder for
Errant
police.
No,
wouldn't
you
be.
should-
No, it
Well,
will be in the
there
future.
was no
right
reason
now.
for you to.
It's not yet.
We're 2072.
You
though,
could
right?
have, but
I
there was
thought
no
we
reason
were
for you
4th
to.
edition, not 5th.
Right, which the 4th edition for this, let me pull up the PDF, does there, it looks like they had published the Seattle 2072 guide for 4th edition just before they came out with the 5th edition stuff, making it even more complicated. so-
Monica might stop by for a little bit with
Well,
Sophie.
There would still be some transition from Lone Star, anyways. But
Right,
Knight Errant's usually smart enough not to try to ransom someone that just told them they were from Evo to Evo.
Yeah, I was just. looking.
Lone Star, some people are super corrupt and super stupid.
Speaking
So,
of which, does
There
anyone
you
know what Temco is? Okay. Because that was referenced in the guide, and it's from the way it sounded like that's how Lone Star lost their contract with Seattle. It sounds like it was a
Because
particularly
my
glorious
character's
fuck
not
up,
going to
but-
mess with Evo. Well, like he's got a whole thing about it.
okay.
So that might be relevant.
Well, I can change the scenario
No,
as
you
we
can
go.
just do the scenario and it'll
But
happen.
also, you don't know this automatically. You're
Yeah.
just going to hear from your contact that there might be an exchange happening, which would be a perfect opportunity to get rid of a loose thread. But, you know,
Yeah, but
you don't.
more importantly,
Have
the
to.
thing is that it's like if I think Evo's going to be upset about this, that's one thing. But on the other hand, if I'm like, no, that guy doesn't work for you, he's just some ashtard, don't pay for him, I'm going to shoot him in the face, then
Can dig.
then that's not
You guys
exactly
know
going
that-
up against them.
I basically had given you guys.
Do you
all the stuff
actually
to just
have
literally
someone at
walk into
Evo
the
that
bank
would
and
believe
pay
you
$10.
straight off?
But it was more epic the way we did it.
Rusty would probably
Jesus
believe
Christ.
me straight off, seeing as how he's a 6'6" contact, and he's high enough up to where he would probably be believed by other employees.
Yeah,
Would. I
fourth
forgot
edition
that he worked for Evo.
published.
I mean, I guess I could change who they're selling her to, but she said she was from Evo.
So
So... Oh, here it is. So the thing is, the Halloweeners got in a fight with Evo recently. No one heard about it, but it happened. They want... I don't know. I'll make
The
them Halloweeners.
Halloweeners?
They're the local gang that never quite dies off because people always manage to survive. It's like...
Okay.
It's like, it's a local street gang. They're not like super elite or anything. They get wiped out by a rival gang every few years. But then one or two members always manage to survive.
So they're
and
like the Red
for some
Hood
reason,
gang?
people join. Yeah.
I guess
If I
something.
remember
Oh god, I
correctly.
remember when I was reading about Mook stuff. Like they like fire,
Yes.
fire weapons, fire magic, fire, and then Halloween stuff because I don't fucking know.
They're not super competent. They totally believe a Lone Star officer saying she was from Evo. And her just, yeah.
I was figuring she's still technically in a coma since she did kind of get blown up by multiple grenades, though magically survived.
There are so many things. You literally could have just surrendered, just flat out surrendered, and then we could just do a jailbreak or something. But
But that's no fun. Plus now
Just
we can bring in her
grenade
identical twin sister, who actually is a member of the actual Siboney's Liberation Army,
no.
who's pissed off at her sister and wants her dead
Oh.
because she's exposed.
Do we want to
There aren't-
introduce the Symbionese Liberation Army as a faction?
Well,
Oh, no.
it's a group that's in Russia, not actually in Seattle. So
Yes, I
because they've
understand.
highlighted it to.
But do we actually want to introduce them as an actual group?
Ooh, I didn't think about that
Because
part.
they could be buying her. Because they think she's her twin
Well, no,
sister.
that's why they sent the sister, because they found out about this. So they're sending
Yeah,
the
because
sister
you know how
to
it
kill
is.
her.
Most people are
because
totally
they-
cool with killing their blood relatives.
Well,
No,
this
no.
is a fanatical terrorist organization.
Yeah.
So because the first sister exposed the fact that
Did
the
you in the bathroom or
SLA
I have no
exists,
idea. I
they're
have
now
no
sending
idea.
the other
for
sister
like
to
an hour and a
silence her.
half now.
Really?
It's super weird. No.
I
He's
haven't
not
been.
here?
I've only been here
No,
for a
he's
couple of
here.
minutes, right?
Yeah, I assumed he was here and he was just in his room.
Yeah, he's just been in his room.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just
Because
trying
you,
to get.
you went for a slice of pizza and then you were like, oh my god, and then you leaned back and I was like, did something happen to the pizza?
No, the pizza's fine.
Yeah, it's like the garden one, but it's got banana peppers instead of green peppers. Because that's supposed to be healthier.
Really?
According to Papa John's menu, which is, the most scientifically accurate source I'm aware of.
Do green peppers have a lot of something bad in them?
No, they just don't
No.
have much nutritional value, period.
Oh.
If I remember correctly, green and red peppers are almost devoid of practically any nutrition whatsoever. It's just filler, sort of like zucchini. But banana peppers actually do
That's
have.
either the neighbor's dog or Sophie.
I don't think Sophie doesn't bark like that.
Oh, okay, so that's probably just the neighbor's dog.
Like, that's like 3 barks. Sophie does single barks.
I'm ready. I fixed an error on that sheet.
Okay. Baba wall?
The actual
Take a look
capsaicin is
just in
supposed
case
to.
Monica's here and the dog's bothering her. Nah.
What's wrong, little guy? What's wrong?
Neighbor dog?
Yeah, it's the neighbor's dog. I don't know why Ginger's
I mean, I've been dealing with enough
Because
dogs
he's
on a daily
watched too many
basis.
lassies, and he thinks he's gonna go find someone in a well.
Billy? Billy's stuck in the well? Good, I hate that kid. He's doing house rules.
House rules.
House rules.
What kind of house rules?
He's adding hero points, and he's making
Kind
us roll for
of.
NPCs.
They're not
Can
hero
you
points
close the
because
door?
hero points could completely change the game.
Just because it's starting.
These will usually only add 1 or 2 dice to a roll.
But what is a hero point if not edge?
Edge lets you reroll. This will just give you a circumstantial bonus. If you can explain why you have one.
Then wouldn't I just get it because I can explain why I have a circumstantial bonus?
Well, except you can edit the scene to give you something to make the circumstantial bonus easier to get, because, you know, I'm not going to be describing everything around you. And I might forget something that you really want, so you can just say, I found it. And then the other change is you'll all be controlling mooks, so I don't have to roll all the dice.
You know, there's stuff for like mook rolling online.
Meaning,
Meaning, like, it has their stuff, and it's like, oh, you can just put them in like a group, and it has like pre-made statisticals.
but then it all comes down to a few random. It lowers the randomness of them, right?
Some do, because some
Some
of
do,
them
it
use seed-based procedural generation. If you go to random.org, however, they actually are supposed to have some super awesome cosmic, literally
the point
cosmic
is, like,
ray
oh, it
random.
has a
Background
seed
radiation
number.
from
Yeah.
space.
You
I
don't
love
have a
them
seed
because
number.
of that.
But apparently, I did look it
They're
up.
how
They
I get
actually
passwords.
no, it's a free option.
No, I know. They're also how I get passwords.
Oh.
Random.org is how I get passwords because
They're definitely more random than most. They use a procedural generator. So it's great as long as you don't roll a whole bunch of dice at once.
Yeah. But if you do D&D dice roller, that one will actually display the results so you can see which ones were sixes, which ones were ones.
but then I still have to count through them, and that takes time. Whereas
Really? Counting through 5s and 6s?
it's easier if we just split it up.
They,
I
depending
agree.
on which one you use, may or may not be sorted numerically.
Yeah,
They aren't.
D&D dice roller doesn't sort them numerically.
Yeah, but there are ones that do. Also,
Are there?
like, if you have access to Java,
No, it's really weird.
it literally takes like 30 seconds to code
Yeah,
one.
that's
I still don't know why that dog was over here. Usually it's because there's some kind of emergency. He's just stuck outside. But he just barked and ran away.
Okay, apparently.
It's not
here we
dog
go.
behavior. No, he walks by our yard. I don't know why he's barking at us.
Mm.
Yes. Oh, close.
that really isn't typical dog behavior if it doesn't come over all the time.
Well, he walks through the yard, but he doesn't bark at us. But if it's an emergency...
Clearly, you have something under your stairs.
No, he was barking at me and he'd back up, but
Oh.
he didn't come back, so it's not like, hey, my owner's dead
Maybe
or something.
he was. Maybe he was following the gopher
He might have.
or hedgehog or whatever it is.
That's what I thought
Not
was
hedgehog.
under your stairs.
Kill the processes.
No, he lives under the garage.
Oh, okay.
What's killing the processes?
But he might have been out of his house.
Signing
wandering
out because
around.
for whatever reason, when you use wine to run Hero Lab, there's no like exit out option.
I would have
available.
gotten a third one with meat, but the thing is that every time I order a pizza with meat, there's like 1, maybe 2 slices eaten, and the rest of it isn't even taken home, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to have 3/4 of a pepperoni pizza sitting around my house when I'm vegetarian.
Especially since
Oh, I
I'm
didn't know you were
also-
vegetarian.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
always
it's
been
like,
vegetarian. I just don't like pepperoni.
We're all
I
just
don't
glad
order
he's not a
food for
vegan.
people, but it's just like maybe not gonna pay an extra like $15 in order to get food that literally no one's gonna eat.
All right. Honestly, how many vegans have to tell everyone they're vegans?
All
99%.
Not all of them, because I just found out recently that one of my friends is a vegan, and I've known him for like.
Which one?
You don't know him. He's from work.
All that, yeah, then that means you haven't gone anywhere with food for him.
Hmm.
I mean, it
Gluten-free
depends on the
vegans have to be
situation,
first.
but like if you regularly eat with the group, then yeah,
No,
you
I
do have
haven't
to
eaten
mention
with him
it.
once,
But, like,
but
Yeah, that'll basically.
still.
but at the same time, you
Have you
kind of
gotten
have
meat
to
in
in
front of
that
him?
situation.
Yes, because lunch. I mean, I eat at my desk sometimes, and he's come over to have questions.
Mhm.
And he
It's not
hasn't
the same.
lost his mind.
Well, generally speaking, if you want somebody to answer a question, you don't immediately accuse them of being an animal murdering psychopath.
The thing is, I probably know more vegans than just the one. And I've never had any of them tell me I'm an animal murdering psychopath.
They don't typically. It's just a running joke.
Yes, that's
Vegans
my
also
point.
aren't SJWs that are anti-meat either, so
Yeah.
generally.
Well, that's a like there's an overlap, and one of them significantly louder, but
And also, I
What
understand
is
there's a
with those
lunatic
guys?
fringe. It's just, I don't think they're that common.
Oh.
And I've heard more
Are those
complaining
spe-
about
are
vegans
those
than I have.
specifically Shadowrun
vegans
based?
versus
Well,
vegetarians.
no, I've made them specifically Shadowrun. I just painted over the pips, so to make it easy. So just 5 and 6s are still white, and then 1s are red. So those are the only
Oh,
ones.
that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, I found this was on that resource that you guys use for the grunt list. He had it there, so I was like, yeah, this is a great idea. And it's made my life easier for the.
Which resource we use?
What was it called? The one with the green circuit board background with some of the grunt lists on it.
I use that.
Gruntless?
Yeah, that was the one you were
Probably the
using.
Shadowrun wiki.
No, not Shadowrun Wiki. It was the one
Yeah, it
you
was
were
the-
using.
yeah.
So.
I don't know what it was called. It was like
I don't know what he was using.
I think he just wanted to decide.
Well,
Dog will sometimes go to the neighbors to let them know to let him in. Because they get sick of the owner not letting him in. I know, because Buddy would do that to get extra food sometimes. They forgot about me. Only happened twice, you baby. And never because of me. Sometimes, back in the day, my mom would let Buddy out, but he's an asshole, so she'd forget about him. She'd be like, "Buddy, come back in," and then he wouldn't, so she'd,
You're
give
not
him more
connected to the
time.
internet.
yeah.
But then eventually he'd decide he's cold and wants back in.
Also,
After everyone
question,
left.
did we actually name the guy that contacted his stripper contact?
No, he's a
No, I was
ambiguous
keeping
boy.
it-
He's ambiguous?
I was going to maybe use them later.
Can't
Assuming you
steal
guys
his.
do better, but I was going to do like criminally stuff.
Do you mind
guys,
if I use him?
Yeah, I can try. Sure.
I mean, you can.
Because, I mean, he's aware of the last job and that the
Yeah.
character is associated with you. And he probably doesn't want her talking either. Even though she doesn't know much about him. And probably doesn't know anything.
Alright.
Karma, 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 chameleon. Don't
Let me just get my
Mm.
stuff started.
No, I'm tired of fighting. Fighting with Hero Lab in here is driving me nuts.
You know what would fix that? A Windows-based operating system.
But Linux is so much better.
Oh yeah, I love downloading kernels.
Do you even know what that means?
Yeah, it means downloading kernels so things work.
That's not...
The kernel
How
is
anything
how
works at
the
all.
operating system interacts with the hardware.
Yeah,
And you usually have one.
Yeah,
I mean, you might have
One.
multiple if you
Also,
have, like...
well, the kernel for the most part is like the base, the most basic functions of the operating system
Hello.
that you don't ever see.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Hey.
distros, which is the front end, like Ubuntu, Linux, not Wine, Ubuntu, Linux, Mint.
Which,
Okay.
honestly, you're not changing that super often either. Like, you might initially just to see if you like a different one, but you don't have to change it to run a program.
Alright.
you do. It's, all I know is I've
You-
never
you
heard
do what
these
you gotta do.
problems on any other system. You're just a
Well,
contrarian.
yeah, because you're forcing software written for
Let me
one
talk about
operating
that.
system to work in when it was never envisioned to work in. But the
Oh,
end
You get the
result is
same
Ganesh,
problem
Ganesh.
as getting.
Thank you, chummers, for listening to Fragged, the Shadowrun audio adventure podcast. Tonight's music is Fusionite, original mix by MyZong. The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logos, artwork, marks, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to FrenchCreekNation.com and Fragged, the Shadowrun audio adventure podcast, to use such names, logos, artworks, marks, and or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with FrenchCreekNation.com or the Fragged Shadowrun Audio Adventure Podcast in any official capacity whatsoever. Please like, comment, subscribe, and return again next week for another exciting adventure of Fragged, the Shadowrun Audio Adventure Podcast.